Welcome to the session. I am Dr. S. Anusha Kathyayani, Assistant Professor in Department of Chemistry, Institute of Aeronautical Engineering. Today, we are going to discuss about the energy sources, which is different types like solid fuels, liquid fuels, and today we are going to see and focus on the alternative and non-conventional energy sources. And we are going to see what are the advantages and disadvantages of these energy sources. We focus mainly on wind energy sources, solar energy sources and hydroelectric energy sources. So how it gives the energy and how with the energy form like kinetic or mechanical or flow energy, in which form it gives energy or electricity and how it is useful for us. We are going to see in detail today. Generally, the classification of these energy sources are like primary source and secondary source. So from this primary source, renewable energy or non-conventional energy. So which is renewable energy also called as non-conventional energy, which is the primary source, and another source, energy from this primary source is non-renewable energy or conventional energy. Under this renewable energy or non-conventional energy, hydropower, solar, wind power, ocean, geothermal, biomass, wood, etc. comes under this renewable energy and non-conventional energy. Whereas non-renewable energy or conventional energy, coal, petroleum, natural gas, nuclear fuels, etc. comes under this non-renewable energy. Coming to the secondary source of energy, which is electricity and petrol. So we are going to see mostly on the renewable and non-renewable differences and the examples of this renewable energy. So these renewable energy have the innovative methods for generating power. They offer sustainable alternatives to traditional fossil fuels. The traditional fossil fuels here are petrol, like fossil fuels, which gives all this petrol, lubricating oils, kerosene, and ethane, propane, butane, natural gas, all comes under this. They are derived from the fossil fuels. So these renewable energies acts as alternatives which are sustainable and traditional by replacing this, which act as alternatives to these traditional fossil fuels. So we are going to see what are the differences and what are the convenient methods to use these conventional and non-conventional energy sources. Generally, these conventional energy sources, which are coal, petrol, oil and natural gas, are finite, means they are limited and contribute to environmental degradation through greenhouse gas emission. And these greenhouse gases are nothing but CO2, NO2, methane. These are called GHGs, greenhouse gases. As we know, the emission factor causes the ozone layer depletion, as well as these gases absorb more energy or more heat from the sun, and they made if it is the earth. So the GHG gases emission is more around the earth, means these are the GHG gases. So when sun emits energy, they absorb more energy and makes the rise in temperature of the earth's surface. So this causes many problems to the living organisms or living beings present on the earth. So these conventional energy sources, the production of these conventional energy sources as well as the usage of these conventional energy sources causes the greenhouse gas emission in the reaction while using as the suitable like for power, for generation of power as well as for automobiles and all. If we use this conventional energy, this causes the greenhouse gas emission from the usage of these renewable sources, non-renewable sources, that is conventional energy sources. So whereas these non-conventional energy sources which are renewable means we can use as the source is available and abundant because their availability is also more and produce little to no harmful emissions. So comparatively, compared to conventional sources, these non-conventional sources produce very less amount of toxic as well as this greenhouse gases emission, which make them to use more and give the sustainable and environmentally friendly environment. So they won't give harmful gases like GHGs compared to the conventional methods. So these non-conventional methods are used as an alternatives to these fossil fuels or conventional energy sources. So under these non-conventional sources, solar energy, wind energy, whereas conventional energy sources, coal and LPG, liquid petroleum gas, are ethane, propane, butane, petrol, diesel, oil, lubricating oils, kerosene, all comes under this conventional energy sources. This solar energy, hydropower energy, wind energy, or ocean energy comes under this non-conventional energy sources or renewable energy sources. So what are the types of non-conventional energy sources? We are going to see what are these renewable energy sources. The first and foremost is the solar energy. So this is very abundant and we can use in a proper way to get the power or to get more application from this solar energy. So what is solar energy? How it works? Solar energy is the capturing of sunlight using photovoltaic cells. These are the photovoltaic. They are very tiny particles or they are arranged on a sheet. This is called the solar panels. These solar panels are made up of photovoltaic cells or solar panels. This is used to generate electricity. How? You can see here. The sunlight absorbed these photovoltaic cells, converted into the electricity, then it was given to the tower. So this is the photovoltaic cells of these sheets. This is solar panels. They absorb sunlight during the daytime. They convert these photovoltaic cells, convert the solar energy into this power, electricity. It is supplied to the powerhouse. So this is the way the solar energy works. As it is more abundant, due to the usage of this solar panels, we can use the solar energy. Then the next is the wind energy. So harnessing wind power through wind turbines to produce electricity. Here these are the turbines. They are connected to the motors here. So the rotation of this, based on the wind capacity or wind flow rate, these turbines will move. So the energy produced by this rotation will be converted into the electricity and it is supplied to the powerhouse. So these solar energy, wind energy are the renewable energy sources. So which won't emit or it won't give any greenhouse gas emission during this process of usage or during the process of this electric power generation. Next is the hydroelectric energy, which is using the kinetic energy of flowing water, which we generally see in the dams. As water is preserved in the somewhat height, like up to some extent of height was maintained for the dams, and the water is allowed by the barricades, and the water is allowed to pass through that layers, or that flow is allowed. The water is allowed due to the flow from the high to lower region. It produces the kinetic energy. Here, when at the lower region, they will provide the turbines. So when the water is flowed, the turbines rotate and again the electricity is generated. We can see here, this is the reservoir. Suppose it is the dam. So the water is allowed. Here the gates will be there, the dam gates. So the water is allowed in this direction to flow to the lower region. Where here one turbines, like wind energy, there will be some agitator type turbines. They will rotate and it was connected to the motor, then generator, followed by transformer, then the electricity. So the flow, due to the flow of the water, this converts the kinetic energy into the electric power. So the next thing is geothermal energy, where the tapping into the Earth's internal heat to produce steam and drive turbines. Here they will attach the pipes into the Earth's internal surface. The flow rate or the water or the steam produced, here the steam we can see here it was generating. It was used again, here turbines will be there. Here this is called the steam turbine. Then it is connected to the generator to produce electricity. If we see here, there are two geothermal layer will be there. We can see here, this is magma and this is geothermal field. They are tapped into the earth surface. This geothermal layer, they produce steam. They are connected to the steam turbines. Then they are connected, followed by the connection to this red one is the generator, where the electricity will be generated. So this is about the geothermal energy. Next type of non-conventional or renewable energy is biomass energy. So the using organic matter, like which is from animal waste or the plant waste, maybe the wood, agricultural waste, etc., is used for generation of heated electricity. So all the waste like wood or agricultural waste or animal waste is used to produce this power energy. Another one is ocean energy. They are exploring technologies like tides. We know ocean will have a tides. This produces energy. Due to the energy, this produced energy was used by using the turbines. We can see here. See, this is the ocean where underground turbines were used to generate electricity. So these are like this with 15 meters depth. See, we can see these turbines will rotate and gives energy. Here we can see here. They rotate and gives energy. They are connected to the motors and then generators and then transformers and then electric power will be generated. This is the ocean thermal energy conversion. Next is piezoelectricity. This was generated from mechanical pressure of vibration. By applying some pressure, we can see here, by applying the pressure on the substances, this we are applying the pressure. So what happens on applying the pressure, the mechanical pressure or vibrations are converted. We can see the increase in pressure. So when it was applied, that tension or the mechanical or vibrations present in that substance, it produces the power or energy from this. This is called the piezoelectricity. Then what are the advantages of using these renewable energy sources or non-conventional energy sources? As renewable, the name itself indicates, these sources naturally replenish over time. So they keep on loading or reload over time. Replenish is nothing but the reload. So they keep on reload over time. So they are called the renewable sources. And abundant. As we know, they are very abundant, like solar, power, ocean, all are very abundant. Sunlight, wind and water are available globally. And reduced emission. This is the vital step or foremost step. They emit fewer greenhouse gas emission during this compared to fossil fuels during this production of energy. And diverse application. They can be used diversely, like from residential to the industrial use. Non-conventional sources offer only versatile uses. So compared to this, these renewable sources play a important role in the diverse application from residential to the industry. It will cover all the applications compared to the non-conventional types. Then what are the challenges and considerations? So the intermittency. This solar and wind depend on the weather condition. These are like limitations for this are like this solar and wind energy depends on the weather conditions and the infrastructure. Developing and maintaining the necessary infrastructure is mandatory to produce this energy. Coming to the cost, the initial setup is definitely high, but long-term benefits outweigh this. So for suppose if we take solar, the solar panels initially we have to spend more money. Coming to the hydropower, for the dam constructions we need more money. So even in the geothermal, even in the oceans, we need first the initial cost will be high, then the long-term benefits overweigh this. The storage. The efficient storage solutions are crucial for non-continuous sources. So coming to the wind energy, how it works. The wind energy is a source of renewable power which comes from air current. So when wind flows, this is the turbine. This is called propeller blades. So it pushes when wind comes, it pushes to this side, then this side, this side. So it moves in a circular motion. Here gearbox will be there and generator in rotating hosing. Then it is the tower. Here the tower will be there with the propeller blades. When wind flows, it moves in a circular motion. Here the generator or gearbox and the generator in this windmills, it generates electricity. So wind turbines harvest this kinetic energy and convert it into usable power, which can provide electricity for domestic, industrial and agriculture sectors. So the energy provided or the energy released or energy gained by this wind will be, the electricity generated is used for domestic, industrial as well as agriculture sectors. Wind energy is one of the fastest growing sources of new electricity generation in the world today. These growth trends can be linked up with the multidimensional benefits associated with wind energy. As it is more abundant and renewable and replenish the energy sources, we can use this for the application of the generation of electricity using this wind. The electricity produced from wind power is said to be eco-friendly. Even it won't generate any greenhouse gases. Its generation produces no pollution or greenhouse gas emissions. It is good for health and environmental and eco-friendly, and it is safe to use. Available for free of cost, and wind is a renewable energy source. It is inexhaustible. So it is inexhaustible. It is available at free of cost. So it is a renewable energy. From wind energy, one can locally produce electricity. Next is the classification of energy sources. Solar energy, which is the main source of solar energy, is the sun. So first, the solar energy is the technology used to harness or to use the sun's energy and make it usable. Many people are familiar with so-called photovoltaic cells or solar panels. A solar panel is nothing but the arrangement of photovoltaic cells in a proper way. They found on things like spacecraft, rooftops and handheld calculators. The handheld calculators, we have some photovoltaic cells like this 4 to 5 black color cells, that is called this photovoltaic cells. They absorb sun energy and it works on this solar energy. These cells are made up of semiconductor materials like those found in computer chips. They are like semiconductor materials. When sunlight hits the cell, when sunlight hits the cells, it knocks electrons to lose from their atoms, like Einstein's photoelectric effect. That effect is called photoelectric effect. So what happens when it hits the cell? It emits electrons will be knocked from their atoms. As the electron flow through the cell, they generate electricity. So when sunlight was there, the electrons will be knocked. So it will generate the flow of these electrons, generate the electricity in the solar panels. So if this is converted to the inverter, meter box or energy grid or household circuits in this way, and any appliances in the household. So in this way, this solar energy works. On a much larger scale, solar thermal power plants employ various techniques to concentrate the sun's energy as a heat source. So they are like, these are like solar heat collectors. They collect the heat, like here solar energy. This is the box. This is the warm air outlet. So this is the setup for the solar heat collectors. The heat is then used to boil water, any liquid with low boiling point, to drive a steam turbine that generates electricity. So the steam turbine will be there. Any liquid with low boiling point will be chosen. Then it is the sunlight enters, heat up the solution. then the turbines will be there that generate electricity. In much the same fashion as coal and nuclear power plants supplying electricity for thousands of people. What are the advantages of solar energy? Absorbent plates on a roof can supply a house with hot water. As we can observe now, most of the household or apartments or this uh, industrials, they have solar panels on their rooftop. What happens? They provide the solar panels on the rooftop. They absorb the energy. It knocks the electrons present in the semiconductor materials of photovoltaic cells. The flow of these electrons causes the electricity generation. So the power generated is used for the hot water production or the electricity in the street lights, as well as these lights are household appliances. Street lights are household lights or household appliances. Solar energy is an inexhaustible fuel source that is pollution and often noise free. Most of the developed cities, even in India, they have solar panels in the street lights. All the street lights will have some panel on the surface of on the roof of the lights. They absorb energy which is converted into the electricity. During night time, they glow because of this photovoltaic cells energy absorption. The technology is also versatile. These solar cells generate energy for far out places like satellites in Earth orbit and cabins deep in even in the Rocky Mountains. The electronic calculators, watches which we are using and gadgets of solars, they use solar energy. The renewable and eco-friendly energy source, it is available at free of cost and very abundant. What are the disadvantages? As we know, solar energy doesn't work at night without storage device such as battery. So to work at night, it should have battery, because during daytime when the sun is there, it absorbs energy and it is stored in a battery. If no battery, it won't work. Cloudy weather can also make the technology unreliable during the daytime. So if the weather is cloudy, means like it depends on the weather condition, whether it is cloudy or like rainy, this won't work. Because of this technology becomes unreliable. Solar technologies are also very expensive at the initiation step, means at the initial setup makes a lot of money. They require a lot of land area to collect the sun's energy at rates useful to lots of people. To maintain or to set up a big solar panel or solar system, it takes lot of effort for land area and also to get sun's energy. Skilled manpower is required for this installation of these solar panel systems. Next is the hydroelectric energy. Hydroelectric power or hydroelectric energy is basically the electric energy which is produced using natural forces such as gravity or flowing of water. So hydro means water. The electric energy produced from the water is called the hydroelectric energy. So due to this is the dam. Due to the flow, we know when water is allowed due to the gravitational force, the water will flow from higher to the lower region. So that energy, the kinetic energy, is converted into this electricity by using the turbines. Again, it has some gearbox and battery, generator, transformer and electricity. It is like a cycle. It is usually produced by dams, because dams can store large volumes of water. So if the water flow is more, the generation of electricity will more. Hydroelectric power is becoming increasingly popular. Dams can generate electricity because they contain special mechanisms designed to take the energy in flowing water and turn into electrical powers. So this is the system. Here the water collected here. So the turbine will be there. This energy will come. This water flowed from this energy will rotate these turbines. The rotation of these turbines then will be connected to the generators and the transformer. Then it is connected to the powerhouse and power lines. So this is the intake of water, means it from the reservoir or from sources the water will be took. Then the water is allowed to pass through this dam gates. Then during this, the flow of water turns the turbines present in the lower surface. This convert this generates the energy which is converted into the electric power. So a power source is used to spin a turbine. So to spin it, this is in underwater, the turbines will be there. So they on flowing, it will generate, it will rotate. This rotation causes this production of kinetic energy. Basically, a propeller which spins a metal shaft, forming the equivalent of an electric generator that produces and stores the electricity. The power source is the cause of hydropower is water itself. So for the hydropower, what we need? The power source is the water. When water moves a turbine, the turbine spins, and electromagnets in the turbine generate an electric current. In the stationary coils of wires, inside this electromagnetic current will be there. Inside the stationary coils of wire, inside them will be there. When it turned, it gives the electricity generation. So what are the advantages of this hydroelectric energy? Hydropowers are fueled by water. Here the water is the main fuel. So it's a clean fuel source. Hydropower does not pollute the environment like power plants. When fossil fuels are burnt, more gases or more emissions will be there compared to the fossil fuels such as coal or natural gas. Compared to those, hydropower won't generate this type of air pollution, or it is environmentally and eco-friendly. Hydropower is a domestic source of energy produced in the United States. Here we can control the system. We can control the flow of water through the turbines to produce electricity on demand. So depends upon the need or depends upon the shortage, whether more abundant or shortage, we can control this system. If the flow of the water is controlled, we can control the electricity generation. These hydropower plants provide benefits in addition to clean electricity. Other benefits may include water supply and flood control. So here the other benefits, especially in the hydroelectric energy, is we can include the water supply. So when lack of water, we can get the water from the dams, and we can control the flood water. The flood water is, if it is more abundant, we can divert them to the dams. What are the disadvantages of hydroelectric energy? The fish population can be impacted if fish cannot migrate from one place to another place. So the living organisms present in the water, whether fishes or aquatic animals, they got impacted. They can impact water quality and flow, cause low dissolved oxygen levels in the water. So there will be some oxygen levels which is called DO. It may be low due to this hydroelectric energy. When water is not available, they can't produce electricity because the main source or the main fuel is the water. So when water is not available, we can't get the electricity. New hydropower facilities impact the local environment and they compete with other use of other land. Humans, flora and fauna means animals and plants may lose their natural habitat. So these are the disadvantages of hydroelectric energy. So these are all about the renewable energy sources which are more abundant and we can get at free of cost, but the initial setup will be bit high. But compared to the fossil fuels, it is eco-friendly. It won't emit any greenhouse gas emission. So these are preferred more than the fossil fuels because of these all advantages. Thank you very much.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.